You ready, Priyanka? Look for me, young B, cruising down the west side highway, doing what we gotta do my way. Eyes behind shades, my neck is the reason my days been blind days. But today, I got my Pharaoh West Priyanka Chopra with me. So what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Today we are going to be doing horoscope of Priyanka Chopra, Miss World 2000. So if you don't know, you can just Google her and you'll be like, oh my God, she's hot. So she is one of the top Bollywood actresses. And so I just thought, let's just do her horoscope. Hopefully she's watching this. You're watching this? Oh my God. Do I look good? That's right, baby. I look good. Okay. So Priyanka Chopra. She was born on July 18th, 1982 in India. I forgot the name of the place. I know it's in my software somewhere. But it was with J something. But Priyanka Chopra, as you see her chart, she's a Taurus ascendant with moon in Taurus, meaning that exalted moon. Okay? And if you notice, her face is kind of like the moon. It's always a bit chubby. No matter how hard she tries to lose the weight, you can always see that little oval face. So that automatically tells you. And she was born at 1:05 a.m. in the morning, by the way. So moon is in the ascendant, exalted. Okay, so this brings about her personality. She has a very calm, sturdy, and pleasant personality. Okay, that's what moon in the ascendant represents when it's exalted. Her mind is very balanced. She looks at everything logically. She doesn't look at things emotionally, because the emotion parts, when moon is exalted, becomes good in a way, but the emotions are now then backed with logic. Like, hey, do I need to be emotional about these things? Nah. Do I need to really cry about these things? Nah. This is why exalted moon people do not really get as depressed as somebody who might have moon in Scorpio or other water signs. Okay, so it brings about stability in this ascendant. Then, now we want to know, why is it that she became an actress? She became this big, huge star. Well, first of all, look at the ascendant. Taurus, ruled by Venus. Venus is where? In the second house, creating a very nice dhan yoga with Mercury, first of all. Okay, and Venus is in the sign of Mercury, Gemini, meaning communication. And Venus represents art and creativity. Mercury represents the art of mimicking. So these two planets together will always give ability to act, ability to perform, ability to act, ability to go out there on the stage and be communicative about certain things. And it's in the second house, meaning second house of phase, of speech, of family. And then Rahu is there. What is the job of Rahu in a horoscope? Well, Rahu amplifies things. Like, you know how sun brightens things up, Jupiter expands things, Rahu amplifies it like atomic bomb, which you will know more about conjunctions and how they work when my book comes out. So it's important. You'll get to learn the dynamics of conjunctions. So Rahu here is increasing, amplifying the qualities of Venus and Mercury, which is communication, art, beauty, cinema, acting. And so, and it's in the sign of Gemini of communication. So it's amplifying these energies. And if you notice, Rahu from the second house aspects the 10th house from its 9th aspect, because here Rahu is aspecting the 6th house, 8th house, and the 10th house. And anytime Rahu aspects the 10th house, or isn't it the 10th house, these people have to make an impression on other people in order to make their living. Whether it's salesmanship, whether it's a lawyer, whether it's an actor, whether it's a politician. Rahu on the 10th house with an aspect or in the 10th house will always make people give us an impression before the other people can give something back. So she makes this dynamic, beautiful impression being a movie star. And so people pay the ticket to see Priyanka Chopra when they see her poster. All the guys, oh my God, her movie's coming out, let's watch. Okay, so that's what this thing is doing, this combination in the second house. And then Sun, the Karaka of a career, is in the third house of communication. communication, media, acting, working with hands, art, skills, okay, your willpower, but mostly skills, okay. So the karka of career is in the third house. Now, does this mean that it's always you're going to be an actor? No, you could be a salesman, you could be in marketing, but Sun just took her there because the rest of the planets were supporting that role. So Sun, being in the third house, activated her personality and interest towards media. And at the age of 12 and 13, she was already involved in cinema and drama and stage performance. Okay? And then, the Lord of the 10th house, Saturn, is in the 5th house of academic learning, politics, performing arts again, acting, cinema, script writing with Mars. Okay? Now, here's the thing. Just because you see these two planets in the 5th house doesn't mean everybody's going to be an actor. Because Saturn and Mars do not represent a creative talent in people. That's the job of Venus and Sun, okay, and Moon. But what Mars and Saturn conjunction does is that, what is Mars? Mars is our willpower, is our ability to take action. Saturn represents our discipline, our ability to work. And when these two come together, it represents a workaholic. Makes a person very much of a workaholic. So Priyanka is very much of a workaholic, but where is this conjunction happening? In the 5th house. So her workaholic tendencies comes towards the thing related to the 5th house. So even if she has kids, she'll be a workaholic mother. She'll be involved in those with those kids. Okay. So this tendency brings her workaholicness in this aspect of life. Then, if you notice, Priyanka Chopra came to the United States when she was 13. I think back in 1992, 93. Why did that happen? Because during that time, she started her Rahu Mahadasha. And in Rahu, she came to United States. Why? Because Rahu in the 2nd house, and if you go watch my foreign settlements or foreign lands, visiting foreign lands video, you will see Rahu, especially in the 2nd house, separates the person from the things related to that house. And Rahu significance is what? Foreign things, foreign lands, exotic things. So Rahu separated her from the family and took her away into a foreign land. But it wasn't permanent because of the fact where it's placed and all the other planetary placement. But it took her away during that time, and she's been traveling a lot, back and forth during her Rahu Dasha, going around the world, doing shooting, doing everything. So Rahu took her to foreign lands. Now, so if you notice, Rahu is sitting with Venus. And it's amplifying qualities of Venus, but Rahu is a what? It's a natural malefic planet. So what Rahu is doing is injecting those tendencies, especially in the sign of Gemini, with Lord Mercury there as well. Mercury is what? Mercury is the prince. He's that prince who hops around, plays, loves to play. So all these qualities are being amplified. And since they're in conjunction, it brings about exotic, taboo-breaking situations in her relationship, because Venus is the karka of relationships. And when Venus is conjoined, and even though there's a lot of degree difference between her Rahu and her Venus, but again, you got to understand that it's happening with the support of Mercury as well. Okay, so, and in the 2nd house, it's aspecting the house, the 8th house of secrecy. 8th house of secret things that happens that people don't see. And since all the 3 planets are looking into that house, it shows the relationship, secret relationships that break taboos, that break boundaries, that break the guidelines of society. And this is why she's always had all these, weird situations in the relationship. Now, why is it that she has never been able to get married? Well, for that, you have to look at, first of all, the 5th house. There's a war happening between Saturn and Mars. Okay? Even though Saturn is winning the war, but sign placement and degree placement, which again you will learn in my book when my book comes out next month. But Saturn is winning the war. But there is a war happening in the 5th house. And 5th house is what? Besides creativity and academic learning? House of romance. Because romance involves creativity. So she gets into a lot of romances because of the Lord of the 7th being in the 5th. However, due to the planetary war, she runs into conflicts with men. because those two planets are fighting each other. Even though it's making her workaholic, even though it's giving her tremendous willpower to do what she wants. I mean, she could have been a beautiful athlete if she wanted to with this combination, especially if it happened in the 6th and 3rd house. But here, there's always negative and positive. So planetary wars happening, and at the same time, she's becoming a workaholic to those things. Okay, so this is why her relationships always turn into some turmoil. But the reason why her marriage is delayed is because from the 5th house, Saturn aspects the 2nd house where Venus is sitting, the Karka of marriage. And Saturn is also sitting with the Lord of the 7th house. And Saturn signifies what? Delay. So Saturn is not only aspecting the Karka of marriage, Venus, and delaying marriage, but it's also it's in conjunction with the Lord of the 7th house, Mars. So it's delaying those things. But now, if you look at her chart, you will also notice yoga. First of all, she has a very powerful Dhan yoga, because Lord of the Ascendant is in the 2nd with the Lord of the 2nd, and Rahu is there. And Rahu is amplifying those things. So the Dhan yoga is becoming very powerful. And then second, she has Raj yoga. She has 2 Raj yoga. First, Saturn, it becomes a yoga karka planet for Taurus ascendant because it controls the Trikon and Kendra and Trikon houses. Okay, and it's sitting in the Trikon house in the friendly sign of Mercury. So it's giving a Raj yoga there. And then Mars, who is also the Lord of Kendra, is sitting there. That's another Raj yoga for her. But now her Jupiter Dasha has started. I believe from 2012 or 2011, I believe her Jupiter Dasha started. And Jupiter, sitting in the 6th house, is the Lord of the 11th and the 8th house. So what's going to happen during Jupiter Dasha is that she's going to face conflicts. She's going to face, a lot of competition. People are going to try to bring her down. But Jupiter is creating a beautiful Viprit Raj Yoga because Lord of the 8th is in the 6th. And it's in a very soft sign because Libra is a soft sign. It's not like one of those really hard, crude signs like Capricorn, Aries, or Scorpio. So Jupiter being in a soft sign is giving a very beautiful Viprit Raj Yoga, meaning that she could have a sudden throne now. She could be suddenly up there. Or she could suddenly be down there. But Viprit Raj Yoga meaning that reversal in a good way. So you will see sudden rise on her thing. And then if you really look at where Venus, Mercury, and Rahu are placed, and Moon in Taurus in the sign of in the nakshatra of Rohini, really represents musical talent. I mean, she can be really doing really good if she becomes a singer or produces music. That's a very good combination for music actually that she has. But Jupiter is gonna give her sudden gains, sudden things will be happening, and her concentration now is going to be towards finding somebody, finding a mate, because Jupiter represents a husband for a woman. So now her inside will be like, hey, let's find somebody. And obviously, due to her placement of Saturn, it's better if she gets married after 32, which she is 30 already. So after 32, it'll be fine because Mars is going to calm down. Mars calms down between 28 and 30. So he's not going to be giving her so many problems with men. And Saturn releases her of her karmic debt after the age of 32. She also left, her college education was broken. She left college really early because of this pageant that she attended in 2000, became Miss World. And that's because of the fact the 5th house, which represents your bachelor's degree, academic learning, Saturn was there delaying those things. And also Saturn was in a planetary war with Mars. So that's where in that time period the college broke off. But the reason why she became an actress, because you got to understand that the 3rd house is what really represents the media industry, the creativity and artistry and performing arts. The reason why we also look at 5th, because it's 3rd from the 3rd. That's why it's another way of seeing, it's creativity and passion. But Third house is really the house of media, and that lord moon is exalted in the nakshatra of Rohini and the sign of Taurus, which both represents creativity, art and talent, and musical talent. And so this is what really helped her. Now if Saturn was aspecting moon in the way, then she would have came into light later on in her life. But the reason why it happened early, because the third house wasn't affiliated. Third house wasn't being delayed through Saturn, and the third house lord is exalted in its sign of Taurus. For Priyanka Chopra. So guys, this is my analysis of Priyanka Chopra horoscope. Starting tomorrow, we're going to do Mars through signs. And so if you're new to my channel, subscribe below so you don't miss those things. And if you want to know where your Mars is placed before I do Mars through signs, check out the link below. Check out my book there, Astrology, the Speed of Light. And when you get the book, I will send you the link to look at your own chart. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.